A Japanese soldier was patrolling when the handle of his sword accidentally knocked over a bottle of concentrated sulfuric acid. The acid poured into his boots, and before he could react, thick smoke began rising from them. He screamed in agony as the acid burned through his feet, but the woman standing nearby remained completely calm. What looked like an accident was actually a carefully planned act of revenge. Earlier, while preparing medicine, she noticed the soldier's swinging sword handle. Pretending to be busy, she picked up the bottle of concentrated sulfuric acid, removed the cap, and deliberately placed it along the soldier's usual path. She then quietly stepped aside and waited for him to walk past. However, things didn't go exactly as she had planned. The sword handle barely missed the bottle. Refusing to give up, she pretended to fetch more medicine and secretly moved a chair, forcing the soldier to walk closer to the table. This time, his sword handle struck the bottle, spilling the acid into his boots. But killing one soldier was only the beginning of her plan. Next, she prepared a bottle of alcohol and a container filled with sugar cubes. She went into the hallway and pretended to tie her shoelaces while secretly wedging a sugar cube into the door mechanism. Then she picked up an IV stand and carefully positioned it toward a hospital window. The final stage of her plan took place in the ward where wounded soldiers were being treated. She noticed a doctor sterilizing surgical needles. Pretending to help by holding the doctor's glasses, she secretly replaced the distilled water with highly concentrated alcohol. The unsuspecting doctor poured the alcohol into the sterilizing pressure cooker, which was filled with contaminated needles. Afterward, the woman quietly took away the bottle of distilled water. Returning to the hallway, she deliberately spilled the distilled water, allowing it to flow toward the sugar cube. As the sugar slowly dissolved, it acted like a timed trigger that would eventually release the door. Only one final step remained. She sneaked into the electrical room, switched off the power, and damaged the electrical controls with a wet towel. At that exact moment, the sugar cube completely dissolved. The heavy metal door suddenly slammed shut, striking the IV stand behind it. The stand crashed through the ward's window and hit the pressure cooker full of poison needles. Before the soldiers could understand what was happening, the pressure cooker exploded. Countless poison needles shot through the room like deadly arrows. The soldiers had no time to react. Within less than a minute, dozens of them were struck by the needles and collapsed to the floor in agony.